One knuckle's as far as I've ever gone.
Yeah, I've been there a time or two, and
Yeah.
I never got it to hit for me, and I guess maybe it's because I ain't going deep enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the problem.
Yeah. Try two knuckles.
You might hit for you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
At one knuckle, it was enough to hit.
Not an all the time thing, but just like every now and then, it's like, all right, let's kick this up a gear.
I found it to be mostly uncomfortable.
Yeah. If it was someone else doing it to me, it wouldn't hit for me. Like if Amber...
we're talking about our own hands.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I've never fingered my own butt.
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
If Amber wanted, I'd be like, get out of there. Don't do it. But I fingered my own butt one time.
Okay, yeah.
Well, not one time, a couple times.
Yeah.
But just every now and then I'll remember, I'll be like, oh, right, that hit.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, Airheads, we're
Oh,
back.
God.
Yeah, we're doing it. We're back in Airstream Studios. I'm Trae. That's Corey.
Howdy, folks.
Hey,
Happy New Year.
Producer Russ over there. How you doing here, Cho?
Is it the New Year? Yeah.
I mean, it's been the new year.
Oh, right on.
We're at least a couple, 3 weeks, something like that.
I bet it ain't
into
hitting.
the new year. Bet it ain't hitting too, yeah.
I bet it's bad.
Guess we'll find out because we're here in the past speculating, so who knows. On the show tonight, today, as it were, I'm going to be talking about where the Venn diagram between rich and trash overlaps. We're doing scams, particularly getting scammed.
Yeah, right.
So it's both scams and getting scammed. It'll make sense. You get it. That's another one of those things that's just sort of human. But I do feel like the two ends of the spectrum are subject to more scams than in the middle.
Without question.
Right?
People in the middle, that's how they stay in the middle.
Not getting scammed.
Not getting scammed.
So, yeah, we'll talk about that later. And then after that, is it Professor Cho?
It's Professor
I love how
Cho.
you're diversifying the different types of Cho, but it's Professor Cho this
I hope
time.
it's been hitting for people because we really don't know. Yeah,
sure it
it's hitting
has.
for people. Sto Cho, yeah. Now, this is Professor Cho, and I'm going to be talking about the death of Princess Diana. As y'all know, we talked about her and Charles's tumultuous, is that word correct here?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Marriage.
Nailed
Their tumultuous marriage. But I wanted, she's such an interesting bud that, is that offensive? Calling him a bud.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh, right.
But it's like, I feel like, sorry everybody, but I feel like they sort of use it in the same way that Americans might use
darling.
I was gonna say this bitch.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, then it right.
But I think if instead of this bitch we said this bird,
yeah, right,
maybe nobody would have a problem with that.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because bird is not inherent. It is a workaround. Yeah. I don't think that's why they came up with it or nothing, was for a workaround for bitch. But I do think that bird. It seems like it plays just fine.
Well,
I don't know. It's probably, if you use it in a derogatory fashion.
Well, I know that some of the African American gentlemen in the rap community do. Because you remember that Chappelle Show sketch where they were like, "Ask black people," or like whatever. The guy they were asking. They go, "What is a chicken head?"
Mm-hmm.
And nobody could get it. And then the black dude who was like a barber in New York, he was just like, "Oh, that's a bird you take home and wear out." That's what a chicken head is. And so I don't know. But either way, Diana is an interesting lady. And I didn't want to just do, I wanted to start segmenting her life. And now I want to talk about the death of her.
You think it would play in America? Like if people did start using it as a substitute? Like if dudes started being like, this bird here, or be like, there's a lot of birds in here tonight. And everybody knew they were talking about women. Do you think the women would still be upset?
I think that
probably, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, buddy.
Once they find out.
Yeah, right. Like, yeah.
When are they going to stop being upset about shit? But the ones but the ones that aren't upset about it are super not upset about it. Like I think about the Chris Rock bit when he's just like, they ain't talking about me. You know what I mean? Like true bitches don't care if you call them bitches. And I don't mean a woman who's being a bitch. I just mean like it's a bunch of bitches in here. Oftentimes, the bitches that you're talking about being in here are like,
we out here.
Yeah, exactly.
Whole bunch of bitches
got their
in here.
shoes in their hands, just doing their bitch dance. Like they don't give a fuck. They don't care, and that's why they hit, and that's why rappers want to keep them around. Bitches are great, you know.
do they also use bitches in those countries? You know what I mean? Like, oh, mate, a lot of bitches in here tonight. A lot of bitches,
yeah. Or I think they might say
birds. I know they say birds, but I'm saying, is it literally Sheilas, yeah. Shrimps on barbies, things like that.
Cunts.
Yeah, cunt. Oh, they love cunts, yeah. Fucking, right. I think it's just everybody. Yeah. Cunt just covers everything in other countries.
Like Clifford the Big Red Dog. It's a raw cunt, isn't it?
Let me ask you, so you're talking to a woman in Scotland, and you're just like, you're a great cunt.
Lassie.
Like, that's cool.
Well, we were talking about, I know in Australia they use cunt as just like the equivalent of mate. Or right. It's a period.
Look at all these cunts in here.
Yeah, and everybody's like, yeah.
Sure all love cunts.
Yeah. Me and all these other cunts out here. Yeah, well, that's just how they do it. But in like, I know that in England and Scotland, they also use it that way, but not to the same extent, I think. So like, I don't know in Scotland. I don't know if it's we see you got a lot of lassies. Got a lot of lassies out here. A lot of cunts. A lot of cunts in the room. I don't think they do it as much, but maybe I'm wrong.
Now they would definitely say like a woman's a lassie. But I don't know like if lassie means like a bitch. Like
I don't think
bitches
so.
like they would be like, oh, look all the lassies in there.
But that's like the whole argument about how people use bitches.
Yeah, no, I know.
Do you know what I mean? Where it's like people are like, no, we don't. You know.
Just mean there's a bunch of bitches in there.
Yeah, right, you know. And I feel like how would lassies not be treated the same way? You know, technically. Right.
But
I feel like it's just like lads and lassies.
Yeah,
fine,
right.
Unless you're into that whole like, you know, gender neutral thing. I don't know how they're gonna handle that.
I don't either. What is the gender like what's for Scottish? I don't know.
Idea.
Y'all email us and tell us. We would love to know it. You know, I'm for that type of stuff. But yeah, that's probably been hard on the Scottish community.
That's
I'd
a
say.
thing that our people sort of backed into is at some point somebody noticed that y'all is gender neutral.
Yeah.
And so a bunch of like hardcore social justice types on the internet at one point were like, y'all is great because it's gender neutral. And we were like, yeah, that's how we meant it.
Instead of y'all stay over there.
Yeah, right. Exactly. We were totally trying to do that.
I'm sure that's super not hitting for a lot of people that like it's like they already got the rainbow from us. Now they're taking y'all. Fuck them. Like, that's got to be hard. But yeah, I love that y'all is an inclusive word. That really hits for me. Yuns.
So yuns. Yeah, where I'm from, yuns was more prevalent than y'all.
Yeah.
Actually.
Is that short for like youngins?
Yuns over there.
Y'all, yuns over there. So on that front, I did not know. Like I've got a bit right now that sort of touches on, and we've talked about it on the show, like Southern sayings and stuff that turn out to be super racist in origin or whatever, and you don't know it when you say it or whatever. And so I had this one, y'all, I did not know. Some people are going to be like, how the fuck did you did not know? But I did not know. How he did not know, but I did not know. I'm dumb. I did not know. So the way I came to find out was when I had my day job at the DOE, right? And the boys were little. They were like both in diapers still. They were youngins. But I was in this like meeting with other people at the DOE, and somebody asked me how the kids were doing.
You're whispering like you're there again.
I know, but I didn't whisper this. I asked me how the kids were doing. And I was like, dude, them little yard apes are driving me insane, right? Because I genuinely thought, I'm 25, 26 at this point, and I genuinely believe that meant children, because I feel like it makes sense. Little kids act like monkeys. They climb all over everything, and they be in the yard. Yeah. And I remember my fucking 350-pound gypsy redneck babysitter.
I don't think you're supposed to say that either.
And yeah, you're right. Shit. Anyway, her and my grandma and a bunch, they used to call me and my sister and my cousins, they called us yard apes all the time. So I genuinely thought that just meant children. And again, I feel like you can it's logical. It makes sense that that's what that would mean. But people didn't take it well. Like, people got real weird, and I was like, what happened? And then I got, I was told, like, that's a racial slur. And at first I was like, no, it's not. Yeah. No, that means kids.
It ought not be.
Please believe me. It's not. Please believe me. It's not. And then I looked it up, and it is.
Yeah.
It is, for sure.
Of course.
I apologize in retrospect. Anyway, moving on from that,
I think I've been accidentally racist before, but I can't think of how.
I think we all have.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to talk about scams a little later. This is sort of related, but up top I wanted to talk about I know that it's been covered a lot elsewhere. It's been often mocked, but it seems to me the exact type of thing we should make fun of on this show. So I wanted to give us an opportunity to, and that's Goop, Gwyneth Paltrow's
pussy candles
brand, pussy candles. Yeah, right. So it's like, you know,
two things I love so much.
Right. Yeah, but you put them together and charge too much money for them. That ain't it. Also, you just don't want a candle smelling like that.
No.
Do you? Family coming over for holiday dinner or something. It's just like the warm.
Is that pussy?
Exactly. The warm smell of pussy wafting through the air.
Somebody cooking up some pussy in there?
Right.
What's going on?
So, but yeah, I looked up and found, so we already named it. They had the vagina candle. I feel like Goop is sort of like, you know how there's like the sort of hippie-ish chicks, like new age hippie chicks with like crystals and stuff like that?
Yeah, they shop at Anthropology.
I feel like Goop is sort of the more moneyed version of that same
for sure,
thing.
dude.
That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, they're crunchy, but it's an expensive crunch.
Right.
Like the whole point to me of crunch is stupid because like
negates the purpose of being crunchy.
The point of crunchy and like that type of lifestyle was always like you're like a naturalist or you're a minimalist or something. Like you're trying to reduce your carbon footprint and like you don't take baths and you don't blah blah blah. But like so yeah, like spending thousands of dollars to seem crunchy is just. You could just do this for way cheaper. You look and smell like shit. You can do that for free.
Well, it's sort of like how, right. Well, it's like, how hipsters be with a lot of their clothes and shit. It's like they spend a lot of money to look broke as fuck. It's like hobo chic, trash chic, or whatever. But it's like you can't have actual trash stuff. You got to have stuff that hits, but it looks like you trash. And it's like, I don't understand.
Like dirt. They literally have to sell jeans that have dirt on them.
Yeah.
But it ain't real dirt.
Right.
And it don't hit for me. Like, just go get...
I mean, literally, how do you explain it other than, like, we think it would hit to appear trash, but we would never actually wear trash attire.
I don't know.
It's like, we fake it, but we spend a lot of money on it because that's important to us. Because I don't get why, and I'm sure plenty of them do, but I don't get why if you're gonna commit to that aesthetic... Why not just get a bunch of actual hobo shit?
Right. Like
from a Goodwill or whatever. Like, why spend the extra money just to look like that if it's not some element of like, okay, but I'm not really that, though.
I know. It doesn't make any sense. And I mean, actual thrifting and getting clothes for cheap did have a moment there in the mid-2000s, or whenever the thrift shop song came out by Macklemore. Like, I feel like for a moment people were like, oh, yeah, I'm going to go to the thrift shop and get stuff for cheap. And then all them stores started making all their vintage shit way more expensive. And so now it's that. But, like, I genuinely don't understand why, like, you can get the same look for way cheaper. Why burn the money? I don't understand that. Because when I spend money on clothes, I want people to know that shit costs a lot of money.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You floss.
I floss.
You be flossing.
Yes. Like if I'm gonna buy a nice pair of shoes, I want them to look clean and like they cost a lot of money, not like have holes in them and shit, and then have to tell people, by the way, I mean, I know how they look, but these are $1,000. Like, fuck that ain't it.
No, that ain't it. So, going back to Goop, some other things on there. We talked about the vagina candle. Vagina candle, do you know how much it costs, the vagina candle?
Let me guess. The standard candle, so it's going to be probably triple what a normal candle would cost. So I'd say it's a 3-wick. Is it a 3-wick?
That's unclear from what I'm looking at.
75.
Yeah, you
really
nailed it. You fucking nailed it.
I mean, dude,
exactly somebody. This man, he knows candles. Like, let it be known. Let it be known.
Oh yeah, there it is.
That's how white this dude is.
Because that's triple the amount of a candle.
He knows the candle market.
I do,
inside and out.
Yeah.
What an incredible way to establish that.
Which that is like a standard candle would be 25. So like I like candles are my shit. Like it's one of my favorite things in the world. Like
okay. Well,
Yankee candle?
Bruh.
The only thing I don't like about them is the Yankee part.
Yeah. Wish it didn't have to say Yankee.
Yeah. Other than that, yeah, dude. Like I will spend an hour in those stores just opening jars and smelling them, and then like we right now have over 60 candles at our house that haven't been used yet. Like I stockpile candles.
So I want to now take an aside because you love candles this much. So you have 60 that are unused, but do you constantly have candles burning?
All day, every day. 3 a day, every day.
I got a few questions. A, what's your favorite, like your absolute all-time favorite scent for a candle? B, do you match the scents across the house, or do you have different areas that have different scents? Do you build like a scent portfolio, or how do you go about that?
Definitely a scent theme, you know, like, and it's obviously seasonal. Now, if it was up to me, we would have Christmas smelling candles 365 days a year.
What do you got for Christmas smelling candles?
Fresh balsam,
apple cider,
apple. So we've got apple, the pumpkin spice ones. Fresh balsam is my favorite. It smells like a big Christmas tree, right? Then, of course, there's one called Sweater Weather, which is fucking amazing. But it sucks because a lot of winter candles have teak wood and mahogany type thing, and I'm allergic to whatever that is. Like, it makes my throat about close the fuck up, and I feel like I have the flu. But yeah, we definitely have a theme. So like in the summer, it's a lot of citrus type stuff.
Right.
So like I might not have a lemon candle.
But you mix and match the citrus seeds.
Yes, of course. Like there will be a grapefruit burning in the living room, a lemon scented one in the kitchen, and there will be the kitchen usually often has the citrusy because I feel like that you want a kitchen to smell citrusy and stuff.
Agree.
But like we have so many fucking candles, and yeah, like I have 3 burning like at all times in the house, and then in my office when we record our podcast, I don't know if you see it, but I have one lit behind me because I want like an extra hit of
What
scent.
is that one usually?
Right now, that one is coconut lime verbena because I just realized that we had one, and that's one of my that's an all timer for me. My top 3 is probably coconut is probably fresh balsam number 1, coconut lime verbena, and then like a cinnamon apple type thing.
What do you not fuck with?
Well, I can't do any
other than pussy candles.
The mahogany ones, and I do love.
Well, removing your allergy from it.
No, there's not one.
There's not one
because I love the way.
It.
No, not there's not one. I love them all. Like if it's a. No, I mean, I haven't found one yet. And like the mahogany ones, I love the way it smells. It just fucks with me. Right. I wish that I didn't have to. But like,
my man doesn't discriminate.
I don't. So, I want him to be strong as fuck, though. Oh, you know what? I know one that I don't like. Patchouli. I'm not a big fan of like the patchouli. I'm not completely against it, but I don't want my fucking house to smell like a goddamn head shop.
I know how stereotypical it is, but I grew up around some hippie. My Uncle Tim's kind of a hippie, and also my best friend Thompson, his parents are hippies and stuff, and I went to some hippie parties, and like it was patchouli all over the place. Like, you know, it's like the stereotype about hippies. They smell like patchouli, but in my experience, they really do.
Yes, they do.
They fuck with patchouli a lot.
And it don't hit.
Yeah.
They also don't wear deodorant.
So it's patchouli and stank.
Right.
Patchouli. You know what I mean?
There you go. Nice. So some other...
That did not deserve that, Russ, but I really appreciate
some other Goop products. They got a gold dildo.
Okay, like solid gold or gold-plated?
24-karat gold dildo for $3,500.
Does it hum?
No, but they also have a vibrator, a gold vibrator necklace. So it's not just a vibrator; it's a vibrator on a chain that you're supposed to wear around your neck, so everybody knows that
he's about to finger himself.
Yeah,
so it smells like a candle.
Yeah, not right. Yeah, I guess it smells like a candle at all times.
That's gross. Wouldn't you feel like?
And then this one's famous. You know about their pussy eggs?
I have heard talk of pussy eggs, but that's as far as it goes. They got pussy eggs, but that's all I know about it. So I would love to explore further. Can I guess what it is?
Yeah.
Is it an egg that you put in your pussy?
It is.
Okay.
Yes.
And why?
The word for it is yoni eggs, right? Yoni eggs, they're made out of jade. And why? It's interesting. I can explain to you exactly why, Cho. Because yoni eggs harness the power of energy work, crystal healing, and a Kegel-like physical practice. So that's why. You put the eggs up in you, and then you squeeze it with your insides, and it hits. Except, apparently, it don't hit. It don't hit to such an extent that they got sued. I bet it
causes urinary tract infections.
They got sued for it because it can cause problems. Like, you ain't supposed to have a jade egg inside your pussy. Like, that's not generally the thing to do. So they got sued, and they still sell them as Russia's. Well, actually, it says final sale. I guess this is the end days for the pussy egg.
66.
Rest in peace, pussy egg. But they still sell it, but they took down all the claims about like how it could help your pussy.
Right. They're just like, look, if you won't put this up in your pussy, that's fine, but it don't do nothing.
We can't tell you that it makes your pussy head harder.
Yeah,
which we used to, and it doesn't.
Fucking.
They also sell $2,000. Right.
Just to be like, here's an egg you put in your pussy.
Yeah.
You know? And be like, it's a lot of money.
To be fair, it looked smooth.
It did look smooth, but it better be.
They sell Ouija boards that cost $2,000.
How much better are the dead people you talk to?
Exactly. You ain't channeling the same spirits, and they're not even made out of solid gold or anything. It's made in hand-poured, glitter-bombed acrylic. So it's just like shiny, fancy-looking
Ouija boards.
Yeah, right. For $2,000.
Is Ouija not? Is it called Ouija? Because is Ouija not like? Well, I guess Ouija's probably public domain now.
I say
like it's
Ouija, but is it Ouija? I don't know.
No, I think it's Ouija.
Ouija, okay.
Ouija.
Yeah. Well, I guess they don't have those anymore. Maybe
or it's not called Ouija.
Yeah.
Because I was think that Ouija would be.
Is it a pussy board?
No, I mean, based on the article that I'm looking at, you've got it right. So maybe they stopped selling those. Our buddy Mark pointed out a real hole in the Ouija board logic on our group chat the other day. And it was that, like, if people are contacting their dead papas and stuff all the time, and the Ouija board ain't ever saying the N-word, then I think they're clearly bullshit. Right, like, if white, I feel like Ouija boards is white people shit
for sure.
And so, if you're not getting a lot of hateful slurs in your contacts,
because now they can definitely say it.
Right? Yeah. What's going to happen to them now? Can't cancel a ghost.
I was about to say can't get ghosts canceled.
Right. So, yeah, that just makes the whole thing fall apart in my mind.
That is, absolutely fucking hilarious.
Yeah, argue with the logic. You can also get a LED sign, so like a neon sign, but it's handwritten by Gwyneth Paltrow.
Each one?
Yeah, well, I mean, she handwrites something like it says, "You are everything," right? Like she wrote that, and then they turned what she wrote into a neon sign, and that cost $900.
I mean, listen, I gotta say, like, respect. If you can get it, and like she's getting this money from the dumbest motherfuckers in the world, so I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
This is one of the most, like, the absolute audacity to be like, yeah, that $900, it's that, which I guess it's like everything is worth what someone will pay for it. I would love to see the numbers on this though, of like how many.
Well, dude, she's selling some shit.
Of course.
Like, this wouldn't still be. The Goops had been a thing for at least 10 years,
right.
I feel like. So, like, they're selling some shit. Last one is a necklace called the Shift. The Shift is a simple, tech-free mindfulness tool that you exhale into. So, it looks like it looked like a whistle.
Okay.
Maybe they've stopped selling this one, too. But it was $105. It looks like a whistle hanging around your neck, and you're meant to pull it up and exhale into it. But very importantly, it don't whistle or nothing. You're just supposed to exhale into it to remind you to breathe right or whatever.
So you could do it with the palm of your hand.
You could do it with anything, yeah. Yeah. Don't do shit.
What is that Madam Ovary up top?
Breaking news, y'all. Manscaped now sells beard products. That's right. They are once again revolutionizing men's grooming with the brand new Beard Hedger Pro Kit. From a beard trim to a fresh shave, the technology behind Beard Hedger Pro Kit allows you to shape your signature beard look, and you can finally use Manscaped products to make your drapes match your carpet by going to manscaped.com and using code POA for 20% off and free shipping. Y'all, Manscaped has really meant a lot to me over the years, from getting my balls all nice and trimmed to making sure they smell good with the deodorant and all that stuff. But my beard is very important to me because, as y'all know, I have a very round face. It's huge. I can't do anything about it. The only thing I can do is fake a jawline by having my beard properly trimmed just like so, and I can really get that done with the new Beard Hedger Pro Kit. Trae, tell them a little bit more about it.
Y'all, it's time to tame your mane. Nobody likes a weird beard, so say goodbye to all your stubble trouble with Manscaped's Pro Beard Kit. It all starts with the Beard Hedger. This thing is a juggernaut of fixing faces. First off, this cordless trimmer has a rotary wheel that gives you 20 positions of precision all with one guard, so no more messy drawers full of extra add-ons, which we all know ain't it. That's right, face grooming doesn't need to be hard. You get 20 different lengths with just one guard. That's hard to beat. Plus, it's waterproof, so you can shave in the shower to avoid getting all that hair in the sink, which also ain't it. The blade is tough on hair but smooth on your face, leading to single-stroke efficiency, which brings satisfaction one stroke at a time. The Pro Kit doesn't end there, though. They've created 4 dermatologist-tested formulas for your post-trim care. First, beard shampoo and conditioner. You need to remember all your hair is different. Your beard hair is more coarse, easier to damage than the hair on your head. Sorry, Cho. That's why the kit has made shampoo and conditioner specially designed to moisturize, reduce ingrown hairs, replace natural oils, and promote beard health. Next, the kit has Manscaped's beard oil, an essential piece for your main facial accessory. No one wants a guy whose beard is brittle and dry. The oil relieves dryness both on the beard and the skin beneath while adding a little shimmer and shine, making you look extra fine, baby. Cap off the kit with the Beard Balm, a pomade that shapes, styles, moisturizes, and tames for a sculpted look to attract any fellas or dames. The Pro Beard Kit comes with 3 free gifts, a beard brush, comb, and scissors to ensure your beard is ready to impress. So, get 20% off and free shipping with the code POA at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code POA. Manscaped Beard Hedger, 1 stroke, 1 guard, 20 different lengths. Can't beat that with a stick, baby. Manscaped.com. Use the code POA. We thank them for continuing to sponsor the podcast.
Skew.
Y'all, let me tell you something. This is how they get you. All them people that offer subscription services out there, they always hit you with, try it for free for 30 days. You can cancel risk-free anytime, but they know that 30 days is plenty long enough to forget all about that damn subscription. And now it's just sitting there tallying up money in your bank account every month, and you're none the wiser. Don't feel dumb. It happens to all of us. I mean, do you have any idea how much all your collective subscriptions cost? Most people don't. If you ask most Americans, they'll say, I'll probably spend about $80 a month between all my streaming services and music apps and things of that nature, when in reality, the total is closer to $200. If you don't know exactly how much you're spending every month, that's why you need Rocket Money. Okay, Rocket Money helps you take care of all the unwanted subscriptions you've forgotten that you even had. Cho, tell them about it.
Well, Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill, is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Over 80% of people have subscriptions that they forgot about, just like Trae was saying. Like, you know, you've got a streaming service that you use to watch one show on. Well, Rocket Money will quickly and easily identify your subscriptions for you so you can stop overpaying. All you got to do is find the subscription you don't want, press cancel, and boom, Rocket Money will do it for you. And over 3 million people have done this, by the way, and the average person saved up to $720 a year. I just started using it, and I am currently saving at least $300 and something. And I got to tell you, there were some of these subscriptions, I didn't even really know what they were. I was subscribed to some sort of Swedish Netflix, I assume, to do research on one episode of Puttin on Airs. Never done it again. $10 a month, back in my pocket, thanks to Rocket Money. Trae, tell all these fine people how they can be helped by Rocket Money too.
It's past time, y'all. Stop throwing your money away. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and manage your expenses the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/POA. That's rocketmoney.com/POA. One more time for the people in the back. rocketmoney.com/POA. Make it hit.
Skew.
Madam Ovary. What is that? That's pills you put in your puss, I bet.
Puss pills.
It's all about puss.
There's so much pussy stuff on here.
They celebrate the puss, dude. Can't blame it. So this is like a vitamin regimen for your puss?
Yeah, let's see
it's
here.
for women in menopause. I mean, I guarantee you that's snake oil, though.
For sure.
Which is, again, that leads me into what I wanted to talk about. Scammers getting scammed, right? Rich people and trash alike get scammed. Which one do you think get scammed more statistically?
Rich people or poor people?
Yeah.
Probably rich people get scammed more because they're bigger targets because they actually have money. Like a poor person is.
You're 100% correct. I personally found that surprising, honestly. Yeah. I felt like those type of scams prey on the poor and the weak and shit. I thought
old people with retirement money.
Right. But it turns out they are more targeted towards rich people because they are a bigger target. They're also, I think, as we've all found in recent years, like they're not
as smart as you think.
They're not actually smarter than any of us. People look at rich people and think they got something else going on, but like they don't.
When they're
just as dumb, but they've got it's a bigger target. It's a bigger, treasure chest you're aiming for, so they're actually larger targets.
If you look at a true self-made, like a true self-made millionaire, successful person, like for instance, our good buddy, friend of the show, Conrad Thompson, right? His wealth and business savvy does act like he is a smart person, like, and that's why all that shit happened to him, like, because he's a smart person, he's self-made. But a lot of the people you see with a lot of money, the only goddamn reason they have that money is because their grandpa had that money,
right?
So that the wealth doesn't translate that way. It's just like, no, they have a bunch of money. Matter of fact, they should have more money than they actually have. We don't look at all the money they've pissed away being a fucking idiot.
So also the scammers, like, they've gotten way more sophisticated, obviously, and technology has allowed for that. I'm sure it's probably happened to you. It's definitely happened to me. Have you gotten like
your IRS
phone calls from people claiming to be from the IRS or whatever, or from
scared
your
the fuck
bank.
Out of me too.
And like they can like. They now can call you from a number that when the number pops up on your phone, it says it's from your bank or whatever.
Yep.
Like they can fake it to that extent. So it's really like the same tactics they use for everybody pretty much. And they go after rich people the same way. And plenty of rich people, get caught up in it. You think you're talking to your bank, next thing you know, you've signed over $900,000 and can go fuck yourself.
I feel like rich people pay less attention to their money too.
Of course, because they're like, I don't.
That.
Okay, go ahead, sure, charge it, whatever. But yeah, no, dude, like I got hit with a call one time that was like, hey, the IRS is something to do with the IRS and your blast statement. And like, I was super fucking worried because like, and this, being a independent contractor as we are a comedian, we have like 55 goddamn W-2s a year. And I've always just been worried that like, man, one of these days my guy's going to make some mistake that's a super easy mistake to make because like he's not used to doing taxes for someone that has all these streams of revenue and from different places. So like I was so worried that I was about to get Wesley sniped. And then I happened to read that day on the internet like, hey, by the way, if somebody calls you saying they're from the IRS, fucking they're not going to do that. That ain't how they work.
Right. So I looking into it, I found this list of like people who operated in the world of the rich and were scammers or con artists and stuff, and some notable examples. And like reading through this, there's a continuing theme, which is like, it seems like if you're just a real good actor or bullshitter, if you can just like pretend to be rich, other rich people will just like give you a bunch of money and let you do whatever because they're like, well, you hit too,
right? We
all hit, how we hit. Here's some more stuff to hit with.
Casanova kind of did that.
And like one example, she was a hot shit this year because that Netflix show came out. Anna Delvey. Did you watch Inventing Anna? Shonda Rhimes thing?
No, but I heard Amber did. Of course.
Anna Delvey, her real name's Anna Sorokin. She just pretended to be a German heiress, right?
What?
And told everybody she had a $66 million trust fund and all this shit. She, like, went to banks and said, hey, I'm going to invent the most high-end exclusive club. Like we were talking about being in clubs or like those type of clubs for like Soho House and stuff. Yeah. She's like, I'm going to invent the most high-end exclusive one of those of all time. Also, I'm rich as fuck. And banks were just like, you want some money to do that?
Yeah, here you go.
Here's some money. It's like it was all just, she was just making it all up, and she stayed in fantasy. Dude, she's not the only. There's a bunch of them. Like most of
like
these
literally,
people,
like the banks didn't even go like, well, let me see your statements.
No, they did, but not as much as they should have. They also she forged documents. She got people to get on the phone and pretend to be.
Yeah, I was about to say, because getting a loan
accountant over there, like she did that shit too. But what I mean is like all of it, if you like really looked into it, would fall apart because it wasn't legit. But I mean, yeah, she didn't literally just go in a room and just say, I'm rich as fuck, give me money. She took some more effort and put more effort into it than that.
I mean, clearly, because dude, getting a loan, like, I'm not uber rich or nothing, but I'm a fairly successful dude.
Right.
And it's hard for me to get a loan.
But all this shit makes me think that like counterintuitively, like the standards are lower
right
at the higher levels,
because
it's like all rich people they're dealing with. That's me pulling that out of my ass. I'm just saying based on reading this, because like, yeah, if you poor and go get a loan, they're gonna look into your shit,
of course.
But so many people have been able to just lie about being rich, and banks are like, well, you need to keep being rich, here's some more money,
and then you're rich, so it's not a lie anymore.
You're rich, so you'll give us money back, and that's how banks do. Money begets money.
What's her name again?
Her real name's Anna Sorokin.
And so she's an actress?
No, not literally.
The show's about this whole thing.
Yeah, but I said that these con art, I just said if you're a real good actress, meaning like as a con artist.
Yeah, okay.
Not acting in plays and shit.
Yeah, right.
Like if you can pretend to be another person convincingly, but in real life. Because
think about how good Daniel Day-Lewis would be at conning people.
Right.
Like he could do anything.
So there's another dude, Raffaele Falieri.
Oh, Raffaele Falieri.
Right, who's a spaghetti person, right? Who perpetrated.
What was his name again?
Raffaele Falieri.
Right.
He perpetrated the Vatican scandal. He convinced Bill Clinton and a bunch of other rich people into giving him millions of dollars.
Was this water?
No, not Whitewater. No, by giving him millions of dollars to buy Catholic churches up from. He convinced them, I guess, that, and it's a little bit unclear to me, but that the Vatican was going to sell Catholic churches in the U.S., but they could still make money off of them. So he's like, we're going to buy these we're going to buy these Catholic churches for pennies on the dollar, or whatever. But none of that was ever true.
Wow.
He just made up this whole like sales pitch that had nothing to do with the actual Vatican, and got Bill Clinton and a bunch of other rich motherfuckers to give him like $50 million. Also, this is how smooth these motherfuckers are. When he was doing this, you know who his old lady was? You're never going to guess in the 90s? In a million years. No, this was in the mid-2000s.
Mid-2000s. Okay. His old, how old?
Not old at all. She was a young lady. His girl.
Paris Hilton?
Anne Hathaway.
Get the fuck out of here.
Anne Hathaway was his girlfriend at the time, and their relationship fell apart when he got found out.
Yeah, no shit.
He was just taking
so he conned himself into getting with her.
Rich people. That's the thing with a lot of these people is like there's clearly no real end game.
Right.
You know, because they take
it's almost like they want to get caught.
They take all these rich people's money and they just spend it on boats and apartments and shit, which hits.
Yeah.
But it's also like
you're gonna get caught.
You're gonna get, and they do. But the thing is, I bet there's so many people that ain't on these lists because they didn't ever get caught.
Right.
And
you don't know about them.
Also, like, there's a thin line
Bernie Madoff ran for a long time.
There's a thin line between these motherfuckers and just regular rich people who get away with it, basically.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
Is it not a scam? Some of the shit people get rich off of?
Goop.
You know what I'm saying? Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Huge scam.
Like, right. It's a thin line.
NFTs.
So, there's...
Crypto.
Right. Yeah, all that shit.
Yeah.
Another dude, Christophe Rocancourt.
Hey, spaghetti feller?
No, he's a French feller. So how would you say that? Christophe Rocancourt. How would you say that in
Christophe
French? Christophe Rocancourt. Rocancourt.
He's a baguette person.
Yeah, he's a baguette. He's a baguette person. Yeah. Yeah. So this dude did the same thing as the last guy. He just conned people into giving him money, had a bunch of different assumed identities. He, at one point, he was dating and married multiple different Playboy models. He talked Jean-Claude Van Damme into producing a movie that wasn't real. What? He, at one point, lived with Mickey Rourke for free because he just convinced all these people that he hit when he never hit. And that's like the whole thing. For a lot of these people, this dude...
We should look into that.
Right. This dude, Joseph Weil, who was in the earlier part of the 20th century, again, he did the same thing. And his explanation for it was, he said that, like, people don't even though people say it, they don't understand that you can't get something for nothing. So it's like he would frame his cons in a way, it's like it's too good to be true.
Yeah, right.
Because it fucking was.
It was, right. Yeah,
but,
of course.
Like, people want to believe that shit. So this dude conned fucking Mussolini out of $2 million in like 1920s.
How'd that work out for him afterwards?
He died at the ripe old age of 100 years old.
Word, Mussolini ain't take his ass. Mussolini, famous.
I guess he waited.
I guess
he waited Mussolini out. There was this lady, Cassie Chadwick. She was Canadian, but then moved to America.
Katie Chadwick.
Cassie Chadwick. This was in the 1900s, also the early 1900s. she just made up a lie that she was Andrew Carnegie's illegitimate daughter, right? And so she would go to banks and just be like, she got her hands on some like fake thing with his signature on. It wasn't fake. She like went and toured his house and like stole a thing that had his signature on it or something, and used that to tell people, it's like, this is my daddy.
Right.
And so they were like, well, she's got access to immense wealth, so banks would just lend her money. She's like, she's good for it, but there wasn't any credit checks or nothing like that.
And in their mind, why wouldn't they? But why, logically, if you're a bank, why wouldn't your first red flag be, why do you need us if you've got Andrew Carnegie's money?
She's a bastard daughter, but that doesn't, but it doesn't, you're still right.
Yeah, right.
If she's a bastard daughter, she's not going to, like, if she don't have access to it, why does she need it from you?
Are they still called bastards, too, if it's a woman?
Sure, I guess.
Yeah, right.
But anyway,
people did that with Anastasia too. People pretended to be Anastasia for monetary gains,
right? And this shit would just work, right? And then so there's a bunch of them like that, and I just think that's wild. Just like, again, if you're if you're smooth enough,
self-fulfilling prophecy too,
you can just lie your way into people giving you millions of dollars. There's been a lot of examples of it, right? Then the more like blatant schemes part of it, obviously, you mentioned Bernie Madoff. Bernie Madoff had a very elaborate version of a Ponzi scheme. Charles Ponzi is the OG. So the way that worked was, in case you don't know, he and again, he sort of invented this style, which this Ponzi scheme style gets reused by people all the time. He told everybody that they were investing in these like special type of stamps. He was like, here's the deal. Somebody buys a stamp in Italy and it's a return stamp. So they purchase the return postage, right, ahead of time. So they send it to somebody, and that person doesn't have to pay for their postage, right? It's paid for. He was like, but if we take those return postages from other countries, we can use the exchange rate to sell them, because you can go to the post office and sell them back, and the exchange rate will make them profitable. So it's like free money, right? That's what he told people. And based on that, and he promised insane returns. He promised them like
250% markup.
50% in less than a month or whatever, right?
So why wouldn't you do it?
And so people bought into it, and that was how he framed it. And then he would take that money, then he'd go to other people and make the same pitch, and they would sign up too. And he would take those people's money and pay the first people.
Robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Robbing Peter to pay Paul. And then he did that on and on and on. And because people were getting a return back, it spread like wildfire. He was like the biggest shit in the fucking investment world in that point in New England in the 1910s or the early 1900s. There was lines around the block for people trying to give him their money. It was like he was the dude. And at a certain point, like newspapers of the time, it's wild that it took as long as it did, but somebody was like
William Randolph Hearst or something.
No, just more like investigative reporters were like, okay, but like them stamps ain't worth that.
Right.
Like people were like, I looked into it and there's only 20,000 of those type of stamps in circulation at any given time. And even if you sold every one of them for a profit, you wouldn't have 1/10 of the amount of money he claims to have.
Right.
So this don't make any fucking sense.
Right.
Right. And again, it's wild it took that long for people to notice it, but then it started unraveling and then the whole thing fell apart.
Only one group is going to get truly fucked. You know what I'm saying? Because like he did give some of these other people their money.
But what usually happened, because the return was so good, is usually
they dumped it back in.
They turned right around and they're like, I'll give you this to do even more of this.
Right.
And so it was kind of like they're almost robbing Peter to pay themselves at a certain point. And then it all fell apart and nothing was there.
But if you were smart enough to just do it the one time,
right,
then be like, I think I know what this is, but
like,
here you go.
Ponzi schemes hit for me.
Yeah, right. If you can get it on the ground floor and then fuck right off about it.
Right.
Like, I mean, dude, that's Advocare is like that.
Okay, well, so I was just about to...
I always accidentally do this to you, and I'm sorry.
I was just about to transition into the trash version of it, which I feel like the most prevalent version of trash scams today are the Advocares, the fucking like the wraps, the It Works wraps, which is a hilarious name because like it don't work. If anybody don't know, it's like literally
saran wrap.
Saran wrap you put around your body to make your fat go away, and people buy into that. It's just snake oil.
Because it will dehydrate you.
Right. It's just snake oil, but it's not just snake oil. They're also like and I don't understand the difference. I'm not smart enough to understand what makes them different, but they're like they're just Ponzi schemes, but like in a way that it's okay to do.
Yeah, right.
Apparently.
I don't get it either. Like everybody
Right,
knows
like-
at this point that Advocare is that, but Drew Brees is their national spokesman. They have a fucking stadium, but like obviously where I'm from, and I know you do too. I know so many people that sold Advocare,
right,
and every single one of them had this story of like, no, you don't understand. I know what you're thinking, but like the guy that got me in on it, he has this and this and this. It's like, no, he fucking don't, or he does because you gave him a fuck ton of money.
Well, it's like that Joseph Weil guy who was one of these con artists in the early 1900s. Again, his whole thing was like, the reason it's easy to be a con artist is because people want to believe you can get something for nothing. It's why get rich quick schemes still work.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? Because like people just want to believe that. And it's the same thing with Advocare and all that shit today. I guess maybe the difference is they do actually have products.
They do, and
you know what I mean?
And frankly,
so
they're good.
Like with Charles Ponzi, there was literally nothing there.
Yeah, right.
There was nothing behind it at all.
That's true.
So I guess that's what makes it like okay to do. Like that's why it's legal, is because they do actually sell shit.
Yeah, that's true.
But it still operates pretty much the same way.
Yeah, because the people aren't making the money off the products; they're making the money off of people signing up for it. Because I mean, like, dude, my wife still, well, maybe not anymore, but like we used to get some Advocare stuff like from somebody she knew that sold it, but then they were always trying to be like, y'all should sell this too. And Amber's like, I like the energy drink. Get the fuck out of my face with all that shit. And it was like, I'm not trying to promote Advocare, but like their actual energy supplement thing, fire. Like one of the best on the goddamn market. But every time they were just like, you would actually get it for free if you just became a rep. And it's like, then what? I got to go to fucking people's houses and talk to them. Like I can't, like, it's cringeworthy to me. Yeah. I would be so embarrassed. No offense to anybody out there that fucking sells it, but kinda.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, everybody gets scammed on every end of the spectrum. Other poor people getting scammed, it is often seniors, which is very sad because they're all tech savvy now, and they know that seniors are the opposite of tech savvy.
Right.
So they make very easy targets, and people get ripped off all the time. And I feel like, they was probably cavemans fucking other cavemans out of clubs and shit.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, as long as there's humans, there's going to be scams. And that's a goddamn shame, but just, keep your head on a swivel. I don't know what else to say. So that's it for scams.
Comedy kind of feels like a scam sometimes.
I don't know. I mean, we hit for people.
That's true. We do hit for people.
So let's keep hitting right after this. History of Professor Cho on I've Done for Diana?
Diana's death.
Yeah, okay. Diana's death.
I got PP.
Right after this.
I got to scam my wiener out of some piss.
Shoo-wee, it is cold out there, but you know where it ain't cold? Down near your weenie, baby. That's right. This episode is sponsored by BlueChew. Guys, we all know that confidence can take you far in life, and that's especially true in the bedroom, especially when it comes time to step up to the plate. And, of course, by plate, I mean the crotchal region of the one that you love, and that's where BlueChew comes in. Trae, tell them all about BlueChew.
BlueChew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable tablets and at a fraction of the cost. You can take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead to get down or just be ready to get down whenever an opportunity comes up. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. That's the best part of the whole thing. It's done down there on the internet there. So that means no more visits to the doctor's office, no awkward wiener conversations, no waiting in line at the pharmacy running into your old football coach or none of that shit. BlueChew's tablets are made right here in the U.S. of A., prepared and shipped direct to your door in a very discreet package. Cho, your wiener's a big fan.
Oh, my wiener is a huge fan. More so my wife, though. I mean, I've told you many times, but the first time I ever used BlueChew, I decided not to tell her, but she had me figured out because after we got done doing the deed, she goes, "What is going on right now?" And I said, "What you talking about?" She goes, "Well, that ain't your dick." And she was right. It was my dick with the help of BlueChew. So if you could benefit from extra confidence when it comes time to perform, chew it and do it, have better sex, and we got a special deal for our listeners. Try BlueChew for free, Free, when you use the promo code POA at checkout. All you got to do is pay $5 shipping for the rock hardest wiener you've ever had in your life. That's BlueChew.com, promo code POA to receive your first month for free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information, and we thank BlueChew for sponsoring the podcast and getting me a brand new dick. Skew.
Are you feeling stuck making minimum payments on your credit card debt? SaveWithConrad.com can help, and you don't need perfect credit or money out of your pocket to do this. NMLS number 65084, equal housing lender. Oh, and did I mention no house payments for 2 months? Get rid of your credit card debt and lower your monthly payments right now at SaveWithConrad.com.
All right, Airheads, we're back. It's time once again for History with Professor Cho, this time on the subject of the death of Princess Diana. This sounds like it could be spicy. I don't know where it's going.
Very spicy.
But, yeah, it's not a bland subject.
So Princess Diana's death was a watershed moment. Is that how that term works? Like a flashback? Like, because I remember, I'm fairly, a matter of fact, let me look at the date real quick just to make sure that I'm 100% correct. Yeah, it was August 31st. I'm pretty sure that when I heard the news, it was during a Tennessee football game. Do you remember that being the case?
No, dude, 9/11 is definitely a flashbulb memory for me, and I remember Princess Diana being all over the news and shit, but like the moment she died, it's funny because I remember where I was when Earnhardt died.
Well, yeah, me too. Mexican restaurant after church.
I was at my buddy Rooney's place, and but Diana, though, no, I don't. I'm sure most people do, but I don't.
I remember, and the reason that I think it had to have been during a Tennessee game is because one of my dad's buddies was over at the house, and that's the only context in which he would be over at the house was to watch a Tennessee game. And I remember my mom, like, crying. You know, like my mom was crying and everybody, and even the men there that weren't crying, I just remember it being such a fucking big deal. And I just remember thinking, like, even as a young kid, I was just like, do we know her? And they were just like, no. And I was like, well, who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? And then I was sort of clued into, like, you know, how important of a figure she was. And like she was sort of like ubiquitous in our youth because we knew about her from her work with AIDS. You know, she did a lot of good stuff for AIDS.
She did.
She
was a fucking
AIDS.
icon. People adored her.
She was an absolute icon.
The world round.
But where I come from, like, I remember it being... People were really weird about her because there was that... It's kind of like how Meghan gets treated now. I kind of see the same thing. Like, everybody was super upset with Charles because he cheated on her, and, like, how could you do that to the princess? But then, like, when she started dating Dodi Fayed, who is the man that she ends up dying with, a lot of people were just like, look at her out here being a whore, you know? And I think that it's probably because he was a Muslim dude.
Probably.
Right? Which,
yeah, that's a pretty safe bet.
Which, you know, we'll get...
I don't know. They might have done a little bit of that either way, but I guarantee you that didn't help.
It didn't help.
That's a sexy dude, by the way.
He is a sexy dude, and the guy who plays him, in the new season of The Crown, those two, like, him and Diana are the two most anyone's ever looked like a fucking character in their entire life.
Yeah.
The only one that takes me out of it is Dominic West is far too good looking to be Charles. Like, he is an absolute dapper Charles.
Yeah, I haven't fucked with the new season of The Crown yet.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
So, but I'll tell you this, it's obviously, it's this season and the next one's going to be the last, and they're clearly setting you up for the next season's going to be what we're talking about today, and I definitely think that it's going to hit. But her and Charles had gone through a very, very nasty divorce because, as you see there, Charles wanted to be with Camilla, and Princess Diana had fooled around with a bunch of dudes. Like, I think we may have even talked about it on the last episode. That people said that, like, she had a revolving door of suitors.
We did talk about that.
And a lot of people say that Harry is not Charles's kid, and they show that.
That could explain the hair, right?
Yes.
Well, Charles still has his hair, doesn't he?
No. You're thinking of William.
No.
William's the bald one.
I know.
You talking about the red hair?
All I'm saying, I was pointing out in our last episode, I was like, it's kind of weird, right, that these two brothers, one of them's got this luxurious head of hair and the other one's bald, and I know that's not impossible, but I'm saying if they're not if they're not
brothers,
if they're not full brothers, if they're half brothers, then that would explain that.
Also, where's the red hair coming from? Because like red hair is a very dominant. Like if you have red hair, your daddy or somebody in your family probably had red hair. And like I don't think any of the Spencers had fucking red hair. They were all blondes, and Charles's people were all brunettes. Like red hair don't just randomly happen. And this colonel that she used to bang, like. It's known that they used to bang. It's not like...
And he had red hair?
Yeah, he looks just like him.
Oh, that's him?
Yeah, dude.
Well, shit, bro.
Dude, I'm saying, like, it's almost...
Come on now.
I'm saying, like, it's almost like, come on now, right? So
Ned Stark figured this shit out.
That's what I'm saying. So she starts dating this guy named Dodi Fayed. Russ, if you wouldn't mind.
Oh, my God. I've never seen this before.
It's him, dude.
That's crazy.
Because back then, like, she was like, again, like, this. Now, I respected this because Charles and her seemingly had like an open marriage because she knew, like.
Yeah, well, she knew that he loved Camilla, he didn't love her, whatever. And so I feel like, as far as I'm concerned, to me, that's totally fair.
Agreed.
In a marriage like that,
agreed.
Y'all both fuck whoever you want to, and I don't have a problem with it.
Look at that, dude.
That's wild.
So, no, I agree. And so, like, a lot of people were like, oh, I'm Team Diana and stuff. But now, more that I look back on it, like, I'm not anti-Diana, but I'm like, look, it's apparent that you knew the deal going in. Like, Charles would rather marry Camilla. He can't.
Right.
So he's going to marry you, and you're going to be the queen. So her later pissiness when he turns out to not be a great husband and doesn't really want to be there for her, it's like, yes, of course.
Right.
You knew the deal, and you get to fuck all these other people and have kids with them, and like nobody, you know, like whatever. But she starts dating Dodi Fayed. He's a Muslim, and his dad is like this super hitting financier type dude. Dodi is getting into the movie business. That's where he wants to spend all his daddy's money, is like financing movies. Russ, I would like you to look up the movies that Dodi Fayed financed, because I tried to click my thing and it wouldn't work. But he's like, he's wanting to be a movie mogul, but he comes from money otherwise. And there's a lot of rumors that, like, when she starts dating a Muslim, the British royals are, now those are just movies about him. He did Hook. He financed Hook. That's fucking crazy.
I mean, obviously he didn't finance the Queen.
Yeah, no, of course. But anyways, no, you're fine. So she starts dating him, and it's a very, very, like, they have sort of a super fast-paced lifestyle. Like, they're photographed on boats all the time drinking champagne, and everybody's like, oh, Diana's really sowing her wild oats. And it's rumored that the crown is like, look, we agreed to a divorce, and we agreed that you could be separate or whatever, but God damn it, could you not just be in public with a Muslim? You're still the queen, or
yeah.
you're still the mother to the future king, for the love of God. So one night, her and Dodi, like I said, in the early hours of August 31st, 1997, they were at like.
So he did produce Hook. According to IMDb, he produced Chariots of Fire, a pretty big movie. Hook.
Oh, that's right. Chariots of Fire was his first thing, I think.
And FX, I remember FX was a cool movie. Yeah. So hey, he got a pretty good track record, as far as I'm concerned.
You know, that I agree. That's funny, because when I was watching, I knew that he was this dude, but I was like, I bet you he was like financing some real stupid shit. But like,
I agree. Yeah, but
I do remember the show they talked about Chariots of Fire, and I was like, I mean, hell, that one, they swept the fucking Oscars. You know what I'm saying? So they're in like a restaurant in Paris one night, and the paparazzi had already, I mean, dude, that's his daddy. The paparazzi had already been like super on her ass. Like, she was, like Michael Jordan famous, more than that, obviously one of the most famous people on earth. And I think that at one point she had like out loud predicted, like, this is going to be the death of me. The paparazzi and all this. And I don't know if she meant like exactly in the way that it happened, or if she meant that, like, I'm going to kill myself because of this. Because, she was very vocal about depression and stuff like that, which now makes sense that, like, Harry has been more vocal about depression. So the paparazzi was always on her ass, and they were out.
Dude, these people got everything made in the whole universe, and I get that, but like, dealing with the real hitness thing is the people that are fully loaded and have the whole world is their oyster, but like magazines don't care about them.
Right.
Because like, I'm sorry, that's a pretty large price to pay as far as I'm concerned.
No, I feel bad
having
for
your
them.
whole private life completely compromised because you're being hounded at all hours of the day by these fucking vultures taking pictures of you and your family and your kids and shit. And it's like, dude, it's not right. Fucked up.
No, again, like, yes, you have everything, but people still should have the right to privacy a little bit. Like, you know, Eminem said, I can't even go to he said, I can't take a shit in the bathroom without someone standing by it. Yeah. No, I won't sign your autograph. You can call me an asshole.
I'm glad.
Yeah, right.
I am whatever
if
you say I am.
That song goes.
Dude, oh my God.
It's one of the most I hit, you don't hit songs of all time.
Dude.
Might be the number one. But no, I've always felt like, again, it's hard to feel bad. You don't really want to feel bad for royals and celebrities, but like, dog, that is the type of shit that makes people end up wanting to kill themselves. Or, in this case, being followed so closely that you end up wrecking and dying. And I was going to get to this later, but I'll go ahead and talk about it since we're talking about the paparazzi. Whenever this happened, George Clooney, like, who was at the time on ER, like, he was just starting to be like George Clooney. He came out and was like trashing the paparazzi and just talking about how like
Diana was the first time that I was aware of the paparazzi
what that meant.
and what the paparazzi were.
Me too.
Yeah, right.
Me too. And because it was in France, they were the actual paparazzi. You know what I'm saying?
That's spaghetti stuff, ain't it?
Oh, you're right.
Paparazzi.
Paparazzi. We taking a picture.
Yeah.
Spread the eagle. So George Clooney came out and blasted him and was basically just like, you know, pulling no punches, like, her death is on your hands. I don't give a shit if you're just doing your job or if that's how you feed your family. Figure out another fucking way to feed your family because this death is 100% your fault. So what do you think? What do you think the aftermath of that was?
Of Clooney doing that?
Yeah. What do you think happened?
I don't know. What happened?
Paparazzi boycotted George Clooney and decided not to take we'll show him, and they wouldn't take his pictures and stuff. And he was like, "This is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me."
Of course, like, yeah.
But in their minds,
it must be my birthday.
In their minds, and there is a you can argue it this way. They're like, no, we make celebrities what they are. Like, we're the ones that put them in there, and that's why they can, you know, get so much money and stuff. So like, we're needed. And I guess to somebody like George Clooney is like, you fail to understand that I also hit.
I just hit.
I hit.
I'm on the hitness drama on network TV in the late 90s,
I'm one
by
of
the
the
way.
best looking men in the world.
Right.
He was on must-see NBC TV.
He was on Roseanne, too.
That's true. He had a small part on Roseanne.
Yeah, but dude, ER was fucking
colossal.
Yeah,
it's the biggest thing.
And again, it was during that era. That was like the peak of network TV with fucking Friends and Seinfeld, and he had the hitness drama on that. That was back when, like, dude, every episode of ER was getting like 40 million viewers or something,
and it was a good show,
like fucking Super Bowl numbers or whatever. Oh, I loved ER.
Oh man,
it was awesome.
When What's Her Face died.
Oh.
Yeah,
do you remember watching that episode?
Yeah,
because this was back when like. It's a crazy,
Noah Wiley. It was great.
It's a crazy time where like people and I don't want to sound like the old dude here, but like people don't understand. If you didn't watch it,
you were fucked.
You missed that.
You were
shit.
fucked, right? Yeah,
which is why episodic. Which is why things were episodic.
Right.
Like they had to build that in. Like, what if you just start watching in the 4th season? You got to be able to pick up on this. But like. It was appointment television, and so the paparazzi, they boycotted George Clooney, thinking that that's really going to show him. But you know, a lot of people obviously blame the paparazzi, and I don't blame them. She was also, dude, I knew this, but I didn't know this. She was 36.
Yeah, that sounds about right to me.
It does sound about right, but I'm turning 35. Like, well,
yeah,
I have already
36.
At the time this episode comes out, I will already have been 35, and like. I don't know, man. Like, that really puts that shit into perspective for me.
I think that about dead famous people all the time. Like, all the fucking rock stars and people who were 27 or whatever.
Right.
Like, people that died young, but they either had been dead when we were kids or died when we were kids. So, Chris Farley. How old was he?
33.
33.
Yeah.
3 years younger than me.
Yeah. Right.
I know, right. Yeah.
It's wild. How is that possible?
Right.
But so anyways, her and Dodi Fayed were at a French restaurant, and the paparazzi was on their ass. They wouldn't even let them, like, eat their meal in peace. And so they decided, they were like, hey, we're going to sneak out the back door and get the fuck out of here, right? And they end up driving, and their driver, who they had hired for the night, or maybe he was just always their driver, he was like at the bar, I think, with them, or in his car, and he had been drinking. Like, I'm sure that you knew this, right? Like, when they did the toxicology report on him, like, he had alcohol in his system, antipsychotics in his system, all other sorts of drugs.
The guy driving the car?
Driving the car that night.
Yeah, I do feel like I had to have known that at some point.
Now, I'm pretty sure that the amounts that he had in him were like, that alone wouldn't be enough for what had happened. But they go into this underpass or whatever, which is kind of like the French Autobahn or something, where like you're allowed to go as fast as you want. But while they're there, like, the paparazzi on these motorcycles are going just as fast as them. They're literally surrounding the fucking car, taking pictures the entire time. And this guy, tries to duck and dodge out of the situation, which I feel like I would have been like, all right, just listen, just drive. Let them take their goddamn pictures. Let's not do anything fucking crazy. But we all know that that's not what happened. They clip a white Fiat, and he loses control of the car. So there was a lot of people in the paparazzi that actually rushed to help when this happened. Like, it happened, and they were like, oh, fuck. So they're trying to help. But there was a greater number of them who were just taking pictures in there of
course, yeah.
Of course they were. Like, if you couldn't be any more gross. And so there were reports that nobody had their seatbelt on. They're going like 90-something fucking miles. They were going at an estimated speed of, it was only 65 miles an hour. I read the 105 kilometers that
I cannot believe that fancy people in the late 90s weren't wearing seatbelts, and I'm not joking.
Seriously,
about that.
It's like that should be that's the rule.
I have fucking I knew rednecks. Even today, rednecks wear seatbelts. But I can remember when I was younger, rednecks being like, I ain't wearing no goddamn seatbelt.
Yeah,
I ain't a fucking pussy.
Right.
But I thought that by that time, people,
we're just like, what's the risk reward here?
I thought that fancy people especially, I would have thought, were wearing seatbelts by that point in time.
I've never understood people who really think
it's so dumb.
And not to get political, but it's a lot of people that thought the mask was a bit too much. But like, it's even less than that. Like, I get it, the mask puffs up your glasses, but like, you barely even feel it. And again, what is the risk? What is the risk reward here?
I know some of them used to they would tell themselves, they're like, well, I'd rather be out of the. I don't want to be in the crumpled up burning car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, if I wreck, I'll get thrown out.
Yeah.
I'll land on my feet. I'll hit, whatever. Like, I don't want to be stuck inside this thing because it's burning up. And it's like that.
Dude, once every 2 years, there's a wreck where they say, actually, if they hadn't been wearing their seatbelt, they might have been better. And they use that as like, see?
Right.
And it's like, but how many times? Almost every time someone's in a wreck, they go, if they'd have been wearing their seatbelt, they'd have been fine.
Yeah.
Like, we just buried a friend. Like, they were like, wearing a seatbelt.
I remember when I was in school, they sent this motivational speaker who was a long-time highway patrolman, and his whole thing was, he said that he'd and he obviously could have been lying, but he said he'd never once unbuckled a dead body.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, it's stupid. It's so stupid. And I didn't think that rich people who hit were still being that stupid at that point in time.
No, I agree. And I mean, I know they were all tipsy and they were leaving in a hurry.
But you're in a this is an intense situation.
Of course.
Like, dude, if I was in the back of a car and shit was starting to go down,
first thing I'm doing.
I mean, I would be buckled up anyway. But if I wasn't and shit started to go down and I'm being pursued by people and we're speeding up and it's like a high speed, buckle up.
Yeah.
How the fuck do you not buckle up?
The way that she was injured too, like specifically on one side of her ribs, they said means that she was most likely turned sideways in the car. I guess like looking out the window going, fuck y'all, or whatever. But so like I said, a lot of people are on the scene. Some people are trying to help. Some people are being gross and taking pictures, and they report that the whole time, because she was still conscious, like it didn't kill her on impact. She ended up going into cardiac arrest at the hospital later. But they're on top of her, and they report that the whole time she was just whispering, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God," and then finally, leave me alone. Because people just kept, I mean, like, dude, imagine you're sitting there internally bleeding, and people were like, "Small for the camera, dog."
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah.
So after being sedated and removed from the car at 1 a.m, she went into cardiac arrest, and that's
died.
And died. And Doty was in the left rear passenger seat. He was pronounced dead at the scene, so it got him immediately. So of course, it's you can't. So many people gave a fuck about this. Like, this was such a huge moment. There were 2.5. How many people? Well, I've already almost said it. How many people you think watched the funeral?
2.5 billion. Holy shit.
2.5 billion people. There was like 31.5 million of those were in Britain. So this is like a worldwide thing. It was broadcast to 200 countries in 44 languages. But a lot of people didn't know that she was actually going to get a royal funeral, though, because she'd already had her Royal Highness status, taken from her. There was flowers outside that were, not only was it like everywhere, they were 5 feet deep of flowers, like just flowers on top of flowers,
flowers on flowers,
flowers on flowers on flowers. So there is. And this is another statistic that is crazy. During the 4 weeks following her funeral, the suicide rate in England and Wales rose by 17%.
Jesus.
And self-harm was up by 44%. I assume because, A, people were sad about it, and B, she was like their hope for... Like, she's the one that talks about this, and now that she's not here to stand up for me, like,
right, yeah.
In San Francisco, around 14,000 people marched through the city during her funeral to honor her AIDS work. And a little funnier reception here. Oasis bandleader Noel Gallagher.
Oh God, what did he do?
Responded to the reaction with, "The woman's dead. Shut up. Get over it."
That's a very Noel Gallagher thing. That dude, that's like very Raven.
You could just not say
that
anything.
That was his whole thing. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Most everything he's ever done has been like, what you could have said was nothing.
Yeah, for sure.
We all know that obviously Elton John then repurposed his classic oh my God, Candle in the Wind, which was originally about Marilyn Monroe.
Mm-hmm.
He repurposed it, which I get, because it's like, hey, I've got 2 days to write this song.
Mm-hmm.
Bit lazy. You know what I mean? Like, couldn't have done nothing original for Die.
Well, what's funny, like, dude, I was a kid at the time, but like, to me, I associate that with her now.
Me too. The first time I ever heard it was for her, and then I heard the other
like, I feel like it played.
Hey, dude, I was joking.
I mean? Right.
Dude, it's because, like, also too, they were like bros. Like, they were super good friends. So, like, it's a bit different. Like, if you died and I had to give your eulogy, me keeping
you can't do a new hour.
That's exactly.
Do some of your old shit.
Me just keeping it together is impressive, right? And like, I haven't really thought about that until now, but like, I don't know how he felt about it, but like, he definitely made a lot of money off of her death. Like, that song was #1 on the charts.
Did he get paid for that? Like,
surely. It's his fucking song.
Yeah, I don't know.
He might have given it. I bet he gave it to AIDS.
Her foundation or something like that. Yeah, right.
I bet he gave it to AIDS. So there was,
because I feel like that would be sort of a bad look if he made $100 million off that song.
Yeah, dude. Surely.
Yeah.
No, surely he gave it to. So there was a lot of inquests after her death. There were like 20. Some notable ones were that they, when they make an inquest, it's like trying to like indict somebody on charges of like it was your fault for this death. So it was whether the actions of the paparazzi caused or contributed to the collision. It's like, yeah, fucking dumb. Duh. Whose decision it was that Diana and Dodi Al-Fayed should leave from the rear entrance of the Ritz, and why was this drunk dude driving the fucking car? The explanation for apparently their driver had around this time mysteriously a bunch of money put into his account, which is like feeding a lot of conspiracies of like the British royal family and MI6, because he didn't die.
So what was it? The driver didn't die?
The driver did not die. And a lot of people say, like, if you are intoxicated, often you don't die.
Right.
Because so many people die from tensing up.
Exactly.
But if you're just loose, like, you're actually in a good situation. So there's
funny people thinking about, like, if I'm going to wreck anyway, I might as well be drunk.
Fucked up. Yeah.
Matter of fact, it would be irresponsible for me to drive not drunk tonight.
So
what if I got hit while not drunk? That wouldn't be it.
So there is there is conspiracies that is like he got paid by the royal family to just wreck them, and I guess
there's conspiracies out the butt for this whole thing.
Yeah,
right?
and risk his life. They also made inquiries into the fact whether she was pregnant, whether Diana and Dodi Al-Fayed were about to announce their engagement.
Right,
there's all these things that contribute to
pharmaceutical company now.
Dodi. Who does?
The driver, right?
Oh, the driver. Yeah, that checks
driver's
out.
now head of security for a pharmaceutical company. That's funny.
There also was
like,
apparently,
listen, we're gonna have to get somebody in the world of evil, right? Like we if we got head of security for a big pharma company, it's gonna have to be somebody who already don't hit in the public's eyes. So we
find that on like the LinkedIn of the dark web.
right.
There was also conspiracy theories about the fact that apparently some correspondence from Diana and Prince Philip had been destroyed right after she died. And Prince Philip and Diana always had sort of a special relationship because they filled the same role.
Right.
Because it's like, hey, we're outsiders who we have to stick together. You know, our entire job is this person. This person is the job. Me and you aren't blood. Well, actually, Philip, they were all blood, but like we're outsiders in this, so we have to stick together. So, like, who knows what was in those correspondences, why they wanted them hidden, yada, 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 all that shit. Obviously, like I said, the main conspiracy theory is that the Queen not wanting her...
Did 9/11.
The Queen did Diana 9/11.
Yeah.
Dodi Fayed 9/11. And they set up this whole thing, which there's a wonderful... who's the sketch by...
Mitchell and Webb.
Mitchell and Webb, y'all go look it up. There's a wonderful Mitchell and Webb about like what it would have taken for that conspiracy to take place and how fucking insane it is.
Well, yeah, it's just a general conspiracy theory sketch, but it's one of my favorite sketches of all time. Yeah, Mitchell and Webb, it's fucking great.
And even though the charges were dropped in 2002, 9 photographers actually were charged with manslaughter for this.
No shit, I didn't remember that either.
I didn't either. So, but 9 they were charged. Now the France's highest court threw it out, but they were charged with manslaughter. And then, you know, still to this day, we see the ramifications of all this. And when you go back and you think about like a butterfly flapping its wings, you have to go, man, if Edward didn't abdicate, she's still alive. We don't know who she is, but she's still fucking alive, right? So, obviously, you had the Elton John, you had the Beanie Babies were really having a moment, and they had we still have it, the Princess Di, England's Rose,
I remember
Beanie
that.
Baby, because everybody was like, that's going to be the most expensive one.
People were like, that's going to be worth $3 million someday.
Ain't worth shit.
Hell no.
But the, you know, obviously, the effects of this are still felt today with her kids, and they have a different relationship with their father because of this. They have a different relation with the paparazzi because of this, and she was seemingly a pretty sweet woman who did a lot of good, and frankly, if I
didn't deserve to be killed by the Queen.
Didn't deserve to be killed by the Queen or the paparazzi. Either way, whichever one it was, I think it's impossible to not blame the paparazzi.
Yeah,
it wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for them.
I don't.
And it's just sick. And those people should be hung, drawed, and quartered and fucking killed. They don't hit. But Princess Diana seemed to hit, and that's her wreck and how it happened.
Okay. Hits for me. I mean,
me talking about it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, don't hit that she died.
All right, we got Clearing the Airs coming up next. Y'all make sure to like, share, subscribe, rate, and review. Tell your mom and them. What'd I forget, Joe? Anything?
I think that was it.
Okay.
And yeah, hit the 5 stars and all that good stuff. We sure would. Appreciate you.
Hit the 5 stars. All right, enjoy Clearing the Airs. Love you. Well, it seems we're having some technical difficulties, y'all, as we start clearing the airs. I think I've got a microphone problem, for which I apologize. So I'm going to try to keep my yapping to a minimum in this here segment because I'm self-conscious about how it's going to sound.
The only way to get him to shut up is just absolutely turn the mic off. That works. I dig it. Well, this is a great episode, Trae. You talked about schemes and scamming, and I, of course, talked about the death of Princess Diana, which is actually, having a moment in the news right now just because, Harry's all over the place, reliving his trauma on a daily basis. So just to let everybody know, once we get caught up on the old episodes that Russ made and we get done with those, we are definitely going to jump head first, at least from my segments and stuff, on the Prince Harry stuff, all the Meghan Markle stuff, because I am living for the drama. I'm reading the book, The Spare, right now. I'm not telling you it's a good book. I'm not sitting here saying, oh my God, Harry's such a great writer. I'm telling you that as someone with a flair for drama, I am super enjoying the tea that is being spilled by Harry. It's great, and I can't wait to talk about it. But hey, let's not talk about Harry. Let's talk about all y'all. Let's get to some airmail. What do you say, Trae?
Yeah, that hits for me.
Okay. This is from, you know what? I'm going to wait till say their name until the end in case in the middle of it they tell me not to. Subject line: my country queer drag king partner performed Sold. John Michael Montgomery. Hey, y'all, longtime listener and big fan of the show. I saw y'all perform stand-up in Orange County, California back around 2015. No, you did not. And I've been listening to and watching all your podcasts / videos over the past few years. Drew's too. A little background on me. I was born and partially raised in rural Arkansas. I moved around the country a lot and now I've settled on the West Coast. And so while I can't call myself a Southerner, that's where my roots are. I got gay married during the pandemic to a lovely self-proclaimed country queer from probably the reddest part of Northern California out there. She's white, I'm black, and we're both liberal as fuck. Now, she and I don't always agree on what's funny, so she's not regularly listening, liking, or subscribing, but I occasionally play clips for her, and hearing y'all argue about squirrels or discuss how we don't use leeches for sucking out the don't hits are definitely some of her favorites. Where y'all usually align with her more so than me is with country music. Just caught up on the most recent episode of Puttin on Airs and had to pause it halfway through to write this email. I usually play the episodes in my home office while I'm working, and typically if I hear something particularly funny, I'll immediately go play the clip for my partner if she's home. And when y'all started singing that John Michael Montgomery Sold song, whoo, boy, the redneck came up out of her real quick, LOL. But the best part is she's actually a drag king and turns out performed the song in a clip for her Instagram. So that's it. I just wanted to let y'all know all that, and I'm happy to witness where the Venn diagram of redneck shit overlap for everyone. I think I'll go play a bunch of old Bubba Shot the Podcast episodes for her. She has yet to listen, but whenever I ask her if she knows the song, she usually just starts singing. That's all I got for now. Take care. Love y'all, and hope to catch a live show again sometime soon. By the way, they have shared the link to her singing Sold, and I'm going to send that to you after this, and if I'm allowed, splice it in here. So that's wonderful. Thank you, Kenda.
Hits.
Just
for the
email
record,
here.
Kenda, and it's okay, but I was in Orange County like 2 months ago. But that's all right. That's fine. We'll be back in
and as I said, when I said that you didn't see us there, I only meant in 2015 because we weren't there in 2015. It was 2016 when you saw us. Quick email here from longtime listener Phoenix Hauser. Subject line: more duets, please. Body, that was kind of fire.
All right, hits.
Yeah. Thank you. You got another one here. This is from our friend Liz. Hi, fellas. Thanks for all the fun. I just finished watching the episode where you discussed and ultimately rejected the idea of having Corey stuffed after he died to keep him around because of how impractical it would be and how bad it would turn out. No lie, not one day earlier, I had read an article about a man who missed his wife so much he had a real doll made in her image. All I could think about was Corey commissioning a replica of himself late one night to be sent to Trae once it was complete without mentioning it to him once. Then forgetting about it until he got a call 9 months later, Trae unknowingly unboxed the faux Cho in front of his kids. Could not stop laughing. Anyways, I had an idea for you that encompasses both segments. For Trae, the overlap of health fads. For Corey, the strange history of Dr. Kellogg's Sanitarium. You can start both projects by watching The Road to Wellville. Thanks for all the laughs, Liz in Cincinnati. Well, that is wonderful. That is wonderful, Liz. I think
Health
that
fads.
we will stop. Yeah, I think we'll stop there because we can't top me getting stuffed. I don't believe so. Yeah, put that in your notes. Health fads, that's a thing.
I'm putting it in there right now. Yeah, I dig it.
And I wouldn't consider the Kellogg guy fancy. I don't guess, but it is.
Yeah. He's the one that made cornflakes because of jacking off. Right?
Jacking off, yeah. You eat these and you won't jack off. Give them to your kids.
Yeah. Well, if we're going to get into it later, let's save it, I guess, because
once
we get going on cereal and jacking off,
off.
be here all day.
All right. Well, thank you guys for liking, downloading, subscribing, telling all your friends. We got some great stuff coming to you here in the next couple of weeks. We're finishing out the Russ episodes, but we've got a new producer coming in, and I know good and well he's going to be a dandy. We'll introduce him to you later, but until then, stay fancy.
Yeah.